What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. It's Raw's follow-up to Clash at the Castle, and there's plenty of fallout from the WWE Super Show at Cardiff. But join us now as we look at the 5th September edition of the Red Brand, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Braun Strowman returns to WWE, W.T.F Details about the backstage fight that happened in AEW, Punk is in big trouble, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out Wrestlelamia.co.uk and our non-wrestling channel, Incredible. Now, as always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, a grown-ass man. Now, last night's show opened up with an excellent promo from Edge, who is clearly set on one thing: getting payback for Dominic Mysterio low-blowing him at Clash at the Castle. The well-crafted monologue featured Edge reminding fans of his history with the Mysterio family, before also reminding everyone that Dominic is both an adult and a WWE superstar, but that means he has to answer for his actions. The drama only intensified when Rey Mysterio begged his friend to forgive his son, but to no avail. Ultimately, Rey Mysterio's efforts at playing peacemaker not only failed, but they led to the Judgment Day cashing in on their opponent to beat down the rated R superstar. Number 2, Rhea made a man out of Dominic. Rhea cut another promo last night introducing Dominic as the latest member of the Judgment Day by telling Rey she made a man out of Dominic. Rhea has always been a top talent, but she comes into her own during her run in the Judgment Day, and hopefully she'll win championship gold in the near future. Although it's taken the Judgment Day time to get back on track following Edge's expulsion, Ripley has always been the group's breakout star. Number 3, Kevin Owens is Fury. Kevin Owens can wrestle, and he can cut a hell of a promo. Owens is one of those rare wrestlers who makes you believe every word he says, whether it's him saying if it wasn't for Jey Uso and Paul Heyman, he would have ended Roman Reigns' career 6 months in, or saying he'd competed at this year's Money in the Bank, he'd be champion. Number 4, Austin Theory is the future of WWE. Speaking of promos, not only can Austin Theory cut a promo, he can do it while recovering from a knockout punch from Tyson Fury. Theory did a good job selling his beating, fumbling his words while still talking trash. The WWE also gave Theory a chance to work with one of the WWE's best all-round performers, and while he lost, Mr. Money in the Bank had the excuse of still recovering from Tyson's KO. Number 5, Braun's back. Braun Strowman is back, and while it remains to be seen how he'll be used, it's the latest example of Triple H rebuilding the WWE roster. At some point, Triple H will have to show he can do something with the wrestlers rather than just signing them. But for last night, the fans got another surprise appearance. They also got a tease to tune into SmackDown after Strowman said the monster among men is back and no one is going to stop him, and he'll answer everyone's questions this Friday. Now, we don't know if you caught this, but Braun Strowman actually tripped during his running tackle, and we hope this isn't an omen for his second run in the WWE. Number 6, Damage Control heals it up. Bayley did a fantastic job taunting the fans and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair by bragging about their win over Bianca and company at Clash. Bayley shut down Belair's offer of a singles match by reminding her that it's Labor Day and she's taken the day off to soak in her win. Bayley knows how to wrestle and how to get under the fans' skin. Judging from Dakota Kai's promo, she's learning fast. Number 7, a WWE Easter egg. The WWE continues to throw in Easter eggs, such as a backstage segment where Damage Control were walking and eagle-eyed fans could see Doudrop and Nikki Ash arguing, presumably about their loss against Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah. She even threw her mask at her. It's good that the WWE gives the fans incentive to pay attention rather than overstating every storyline. And Trips takes his time. A credit to Triple H for giving storylines time to play out. So far, he's intrigued fans with the Miz-Loomis mystery, Dominic's slow turn to the dark side, the budding Gargano-Theory rivalry, and Damage Control's bid to take over Raw. There's a fine line between dragging out stories, but so far, Trips is doing very well. We'll have to reserve judgment until stories finish, but so far, so good. But that was a good. What about the bad? Is number 1, padding the show. Our Raw was good, but the WWE went overboard with its highlight videos of Clash at the Castle. It almost seemed like the WWE was dealing with jet lag and wasn't up to writing the entire show. Number 2, Braun destroys the tag division. Some things haven't changed in WWE, but not the company's over-reliance on having monster heels destroy tag teams, or in the case of Braun Strowman's return, 3 tag teams. If the WWE ever wants to get its fans to take the tag division seriously, it needs to avoid this terrible trope. Number 3, rubbing the fans' face in it. The last thing the WWE needed to do was remind fans of the fizzle finish to Clash at the Castle's Drew vs Roman main event. Judging from last night's replays, fans had to feel that Roman may never lose the Undisputed Championship, and the WWE couldn't care less how they feel. And number 3, not the best way to build up to football season, as last night's Raw was good, but there was nothing other than Dominic joining the Judgment Day that stood out as particularly exciting. With Monday Night Football starting next week, you'd think the WWE would have booked this show stronger. Instead, they put on a decent show without announcing any marquee matches for next week. Edge vs Dominic isn't the stuff of legend, nor is the prospect of seeing Johnny Gargano face an unannounced opponent. Now, there was nothing downright ugly, as Raw has been good for the last few weeks, but last night's show was a bit of a letdown and a warning that Triple H will have to do more than book surprise returns and pull apart brawls every week if he wants to build Raw's audience, or at least maintain it during football season. What do you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to the news. Well, our top story today, and it's obviously the CM Punk drama continues. At top of the news today is the story fans can't stop talking about, CM Punk's media scrum and the fallout from it. As we'll see, the war of words apparently switched gears quickly with some potential criminal consequences. And firstly, the W.T.F details on the fight backstage. And more details are emerging about the rumoured physical confrontation between CM Punk and the Young Bucks, with additional rumours that Ace Steel and Kenny Omega were also involved. The Wrestling Observer reported on Monday that, according to multiple sources that lined up with some of Fightful's reporting, there was a fight backstage afterward, with Punk allegedly starting things up by swinging fists at the Bucks' Mac Jackson. Punk's trainer, friend, and AEW producer Steel, part of the storyline that got Punk into Sunday's Jon Moxley match, threw a chair that hit the Bucks' Nick Jackson in the eye. Steel, aka Chris Guy, allegedly bit Omega and grabbed his hair. As of this writing, no one involved nor AEW has commented publicly about the alleged incident, part of which is due to potential legal issues. There is at least one account of things that questions who started the fight. However, one of the biggest questions is whether this is a work. While some fans remain skeptical, Dave Meltzer talked about the situation on The Observer, saying it's absolutely 100% it's not a work. I can tell you there's legal people involved, a lot of legal situations involved, and it can be very messy. I think that's one of the reasons why AEW is not allowed to talk about it. If an actual fight occurred, AEW's legal team will want to keep quiet about things. According to a Fightful Select report, several WWE superstars reached out to the Patreon-based account and stated they doubted it was a work. Perhaps even more interesting, Fightful noted that a top WWE star said that the CM Punk that they knew years ago is being highlighted. And another long-time main eventer told us that they considered Punk's actions unprofessional and don't believe he's the company man or leader that he made himself out to be. The same person will call Punk selfish and arrogant. This sentiment was echoed by several people we spoke to, including some talent that worked on the set with Punk at Fox. But Punk is in big trouble, as there could be legal consequences, including civil lawsuits and criminal prosecutions, depending on what happened and whether all parties can be mollified. That is the reason why AEW or anyone involved has gone on record about what happened. According to Fightful Select, one person said that Ace Steel was lucky not to be in jail. Keep in mind that the longer this story goes on, the more likely it is that fans will hear any number of tales of what happened, tales which are likely to become tall tales. But Bobby Fish is challenging CM Punk to a fight. A recently released AEW star Bobby Fish has issued an open challenge to CM Punk, as Fish apparently was responding to Punk's comments during the media scrum that if anyone has a problem with him, to tell him to his face. Fish gave several options, saying it can be boxing, it can be kickboxing, it can be MMA, I mean shit, we can do this bare knuckle. He can pick the weight, he can pick the place, like I said, whatever he wants to do, but yeah, let's make it official. Like, come on Phil. Well, the next comment suggests Fish's friendship with the Young Bucks has a lot to do with his challenge. On a very short list of people in this industry that I can say, like, genuinely, I love those guys. They're good people, they got kids, they got wives, they're God-fearing, good human beings. Do you think Punk will accept his challenge? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.